Well, hey team, welcome back to the reality capture recap for Friday, March 8th. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, welcome in. If this is repeat time, if you coming back, welcome back. We keep these very short around here. We go over 5 quick topics. If you haven't tuned in with us before, and what we do here is we really go over these 5 right next to me here, which is really the best thing I saw. Give them a follow, who's crushing it, some stuff on the horizon, and then some kind of fun hot takes at the end here. So if you are tuning in for the first time, welcome. And if you're coming back, thanks for coming back. We look forward to chatting through some of these things. So let's dive right into it here on the first one. The best thing I saw this week. Honestly, this was something that I probably had 4 or 5 people send me, which was awesome. And I love it. Guys, Jonathan over on the every point and stockpile measure stuff is just awesome. This is a really cool tool. I should repost it honestly here. But if I watch it again here, just really cool how the Apple Vision Pro can be used out in the field. What I loved about this is like, hey, who knows if this is actually going to happen? And Jonathan, I appreciate your post here too, because you kind of had said, hey, I don't think this is too far off here, but some kind of things to consider, which I appreciated there. So just a really cool post. I thought it was really neat because I think this reminds me a lot of the time when like the iPad came out and we didn't really know like, hey, what is this going to do for us? What is this going to kind of play out with? And what's really cool about this is I think what we're showing here is like, hey, this is an example. Like we can use this out in the field in this specific instance for measuring a stockpile, which I thought was really neat here. And just honestly, a super candid video. It's just really cool to see kind of no frills. This is what it can do. This is what it looks like. I love the look on here. It looks like he's wearing ski goggles, but obviously those are the Apple Vision Pros. But yeah, I just thought it was really cool. Just a really neat example here. Again, if you haven't seen this, go check out Jonathan's post or go check out the folks that are over at Every Point and really just see what those guys are kind of doing. So I thought that was really cool here. Let's head back to this main screen into give them a follow. Some really fun things here. I love this section mainly because these are companies that I probably either heard about from just friends or from other folks, and I actually had a chance to interact with these guys in person. So I got to test this a long time ago in a previous life. But what's cool about this here is really the NaVis team. If you haven't seen these guys, what I loved about this content that I saw this week from them, definitely go give them a follow. But it was just a really cool example of kind of ground truthing their product and really bringing in some unique parts and pieces to it with ground control points and really just control that was set out over across this whole project that they did. I think this video is really only like a couple minutes long, but it was really neat because it really showed the whole process. It showed some perspectives from some folks in the field or kind of the legacy ways of doing it. And it really just showed a lot of the content in general of how do you like, what would this look like for you if you go and use this product? And so I think I got it on mute here, but what I want to do is just like kind of fast forward here. I mean, the data looked amazing. Obviously that's no surprise from the NaVis team, but what was just really cool about it is I just really appreciated it of kind of seeing it from end to end. I'm sure this is probably a question that those guys got asked quite a bit. And what was cool is they just were like, hey, let's go make a quick little video of this thing and make this thing happen. So really appreciated that from the NaVis team. If you guys haven't given them a follow, would highly encourage you guys to go check them out as well. So next one up here, who's crushing it? I always love this one too, because again, it's just another way to highlight either a company or an individual. But on the who's crushing it side, you may kind of find this surprising. When I heard about this, this was something that our team participated in this week, but the team over at Oracle is doing some really cool things to leverage job site imagery for success really in their innovation lab. And the cool part about this was really just, I think, around how they brought together a ton of different folks in the industry and partners and experiences to really kind of elevate, hey, there's so much job site imagery that's being captured. How do we kind of help educate and make aware of what those are? They had a fun little contractors cup here, and then they also had a drone challenge, which I thought was really cool. But Oracle is not new into this space of putting out some amazing content, which is really why I kind of wanted to highlight them here. Last year, about this time, they did a really cool experiment to really test different modes of reality capture, means and methods, and then also the value prop to that. And this graphic hit so hard. It was so interesting to see the y-axis over there. If I go back to my school days of X and Y-axis, the y-axis there, what was really cool is obviously those are different mediums to go and do reality capture. And then the 1, 2, 3, 4 through 9 are the value propositions, the workflows in each of those ways that those tools are being used. a lot to comprehend and kind of process here, but honestly, I'll put a link to this and you guys can go check out the report for yourself. But this was just incredibly helpful to see kind of holistically all these different methods of reality capture and then all these use cases for it too. And again, this was a report that they did a long time ago, but who's crushing it? Oracle, you guys are amazing with this innovation lab, the content that you're putting out. I love some of these posts here too. There was a couple folks that were there that got to be a part of this event. There was a fun flight drone kind of challenge here too that shout out to our friend Julia who won that challenge, which I thought was super cool here too. But yeah, I just thought it was really neat how those guys are doing an amazing job of really just elevating this idea of reality capture and just feels like, hey, you guys got to go check these guys out. They're definitely crushing it. So the next one here that we want to bring up is on the horizon. So again, this is anything from, gosh, I would say just events or rumor mills, things like that are going on. And the one that I wanted to kind of highlight today is our friends over at RevUp. So they're doing some great stuff. They have a conference that's coming up here in a couple weeks. And it's a great opportunity for you guys that I'm sure many of you, if you're in the reality capture space, are also in kind of the 3D and modeling space as well. RevUp is a great tool that really helps a lot of AEC professionals really help that coordination process. And so what I like about this though too is, one, this is, I think, their second year that they're doing this conference, but what's really awesome about it is just a great way to meet folks in this industry. And really, when you look down here of kind of some other folks that are going to be here on the sponsor side, there's a lot of folks in reality capture, which is super exciting. And so we just encourage you guys, if you are familiar with this tool or if you know anyone that uses RevUp, would highly encourage you guys to go check out their user conference, which is just a ton of fun that I'm excited to be there. And so if you are going to attend, we will see you there and hopefully get a chance to mix and mingle and talk about some fun stuff there. So last but not least, let's get to the end here on the hot takes. This one is kind of interesting. What I was thinking about this week is, what is the hot take that I wanted to kind of highlight or focus on? The question that I have here is, are point solutions going to be the end of reality capture? That's a very hot take there. But the reason why I was thinking about this is there are so many different tools out there that do a lot of things. And I think that's a really great thing to be able to really evaluate tools and what they can do. And if you're a feature by feature person, you can go and do that. But I just wanted to elevate one thing here, which is kind of, I would say, just a thing that we've put out, or I guess a report, probably the better place to say, is really just kind of some information around this. And really what this was done to really survey a lot of different people about this idea of what it looks like to have individual point solutions and what are the good things of that, and then what are the bad things of that. And I think what's interesting here is one of the things that we're seeing a big trend on is really consolidation of like, hey, if I have 5 different tools to do something, I probably only need one of those tools. And what's interesting about this, there's a lot of different information in here. This is a pretty good and lengthy report. But I thought this stat, when we pulled some of these things, that was really interesting, is that 81% of construction firms, that's my background here, but use multiple different point solutions for reality capture. And while that's not necessarily surprising, but it's also a little bit kind of confusing in the sense of like, hey, are those solutions that are complementary to each other? Are they not? But anyway, I would just encourage you, I'll put a link to this, really the kind of highlights here of the cost of adoption creep, kind of the pain points of the pain of point solutions, and really how to reduce kind of the costs in some of those ways. So again, I'll put a link to that if that's something that is of interest to you. But really the hot take is and there's a lot of point solutions out there. And really, what will the trend be as we kind of continue to move forward here, of some of those consolidating into one, or maybe even your team's considering, is that something that they should continue to invest in? So I hope this was helpful. Really love and appreciate all the comments and feedback below. I hope I've heard from a couple of you. Thank you for reaching out, that this is a fun part of your week. You're excited to see what kind of topics we hit on. And so look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you guys for all the comments and feedback in the section below, and we will see you next week.